Pearl Abyss recently released 3 distinct feature vids showcasing the world of Crimson Desert, and after reviewing all of them, we're in for a treat heading towards the game's releases coming March 19. With over half an hour of content across the 3 features, Pearl Abyss definitely outdid itself, and all things considered, Black Desert Online walked so Crimson Desert could run, and not only is it zooming, it's going at max speeds. With how video games desensitized us to how big a country or continent could truly be, Crimson Desert's setting in Pywel is just something else entirely. Hear me out on this. You have 5 regions in Hernan, Hailun, Demonist, Delesha, and an actual Crimson Desert, each with their own distinct biomes and creatures, and you could literally see the lines dividing them. You're asking how I'm even mentioning this, right? It's because there's an area up above called the Abyss, and when you free fall from it, you literally see them all. Even the way you go across them seems amazing. You could definitely walk, you could even climb, you could even glide in the air, but did you know you could swing? No biggie, right? What about traveling via mech or dragon? Heck, they didn't even show everything yet, but for sure with how big the world is, I'm sure there are more means of travel to be found. Its inhabitants make it feel alive. NPCs are more than just a decoration in this game, and it shows. Sure, you have your quest givers, your shopkeepers, and even animals here and there, and you can pet them by the way. When you could actually learn from these NPCs, fight them, and even get them to follow you, they're more than just pixels. What about enemies though? They go from humanizing to epic to downright monstrous, and the variety of things that want to beat you are surprising, but a welcome one, to say the least. As you go through the continent of Pywel, you'd feel like you were playing a JRPG with the enemy progression to follow. Because seriously, when you go from soldier to giant to mecha to dragon, and maybe even a deity or two, you know things just got real. Life is as easy as or as complicated as you want to make it. One aspect of the feature that's heavily emphasized was how even with the main story in mind, there's so much content that could be done on the side that the quest to reclaim the Greymane legacy could take a backseat, and that's alright. Life in Pywel is as fast or as slow as you make it, and literally and figuratively stopping to smell the roses is worth it. Gathering materials is a fun little activity to do in the Crimson Desert, and there are times that it could feel like a chore. Mining, fishing, cooking, and chopping up wood, just a few of the material gathering activities you could do, but in Crimson Desert, you could literally delegate people to do it. That castle you were aiming to siege, you could send people out there to fight in your stead and get back to the better things in life like fighting bumps in pits or playing minigames. You have the right to bear arms. Speaking of fights, the biggest surprise was in the combat featurette. The fighting with swords, hammers, halberds, axes, and even bows was no surprise, but when the other playable characters came on screen, my jaw just fell. While most exploration games would skimp on combat, turning it into a beat-em-up situation, Crimson Desert went full-on hardware store. Magic balls coming out of everywhere, giant long swords, a staff turning into a gun. Might as well call it a department store because they have it all for you. And while some options may seem more suited for different situations, just seeing an Izuna drop on hapless enemies just had the wrestling fan in me hyped. Seriously, weapons are cool and all, but damn, having barehanded options viable is a treat, and even getting to use weapons as an enemy has my blood pumping. While it wasn't actually shown in the featurette, we can't help but talk about the boss variety in Crimson Desert. And while it's understandable that it may come off as a bit of a spoiler, seeing everything culminate in these experiences is something else. Imagine, you're just walking around in the overworld and suddenly a cutscene plays. No warning, no borders, just an open field and a weird botch in the minimap. 5 seconds later, boom, you're in for a ride. Now you keep walking and you find something that looks like a boss arena. You're thinking, dang, I'm in for a fight, only to realize that boss isn't stuck in here with you. You're stuck in there with the boss. Once you get free, you'll get more locations and a castle roof is logical. It doesn't need to make sense, but a mecha dragon? Seriously, a robot dragon that spits out fire and lightning. You don't need sense anymore when you're having fun like this. And dang, I wanna get my face filed in. Your decisions actually matter. There's this joke that whatever your choice, it could always end in the same outcome. But in Crimson Desert, your choices actually matter. Remember how alive the world is and how people would flock to you? Yeah, that's if you help them. If something bad were to happen to them, not only would they go after you, but the entire town would as well. Let's think bigger. Territories would often be claimed, but you could actually reclaim them too. When you reclaim them, new citizens would eventually go in, and you'd curry favor with factions, one way or another. While this wasn't explored in depth in the featurettes, I'm sure it's something that we really have to take note of. Not gonna lie, I'm hyped for the release of Crimson Desert. It feels like the best 20 games all in one, and you know what? March couldn't come soon enough.